It's time to wake up and realise that no government is your friend.
£9 pints coming your way thanks to the Epstein class war.
Police are urging people to stay away from the M60 because a lorry's shed its load of beer and half of Manchester's already legging it down there.
So my missus has just got home from working all day. I've finished from grafting all day. The football is on the big screen. You know what time it is.
What's up? So today we're going to take a little look at the average cost of a pint.
Is it illegal for UK pubs to sell this drink? Short answer, no.
A pint of Guinness costs 44% more in London than it does in Bristol. Same drink, same brand, same 12-minute pour.
Everyone keeps saying pubs are closing because young people don't drink anymore. And maybe that's part of it, but I think they're missing a point here.
Oi! Oi! Step back! What's in the jacket? New beer jacket. Hey, man!
I tried to warn the Americans about the British. I tried my absolute best, but apparently no one listens to me. I said that when the World Cup started, the Brits would go over to the US and drink places dry. I said that. And guess what? They have done that very thing. We have the Scots up in Boston that have drunk places dry to the point where they're scrambling to figure out where they can find more booze for these folks to drink. Samuel Adams has run out of their lager. They're out of Tennent's. Nobody's drinking Bud Light though because it's water.
And they're not the only ones running dry.
Pretty much everything. We ran out of everything. Tennent's being number one.
White Bull Tavern may have run out of Scotland's iconic Tennent's beer, but that didn't stop the party.
The fans have been unbelievable. They're great. They're fun. They're drinking, partying, having a great time.
The Scots are absolutely incredible. And so many Americans are finally getting to see what I've been trying to say for a long time. British folks.
Welcome to Blighty Blighted. Your daily reminder that Britain's pubs used to run out of beer because everyone was having a good time. Now they run out because the football's on and the delivery lorry can't keep up. Now then, have you noticed what's been happening during the football? Every big match, every major tournament, every England game. Suddenly the pubs are packed to the rafters, the supermarkets are stripped bare, beer shelves looking as though a plague of thirsty locusts has descended. You'd think we'd discovered prohibition was starting tomorrow. I've even heard people saying they couldn't get their favorite lager because everyone had beaten them to it. Imagine that. Beer becoming harder to find. In Britain. Now I've seen some strange things in my 90-odd years, but that's right up there with seeing sunshine on a bank holiday. Of course, the football always gets people together, especially a World Cup. Families, friends, neighbours, everyone piling into the pub to cheer England on.
Bristol is £4.78. London is £6.87. That's over £2 difference for identical stout. This is not just Guinness. This is rent. It's your weekly food shop. It's even the price of getting your boiler fixed. Your money buys you a completely different life depending on which postcode you're in. But here's the bit that most people miss. Salaries don't scale to match. I mean, sure, London pay is higher on average, but not by 44% across the board. And definitely not once you've paid London rent to get there. So when somebody says to you, just move somewhere cheaper, it's not always that simple because your income will move with your location too. But some of the postcode premium is genuinely fixed and some of it isn't. Car and home insurance are priced on your postcode, that's real. The WTW price index shows the gap between the cheapest and the priciest parts of the UK for car insurance is over £850 a year. For identical cars with identical drivers. That's risk-based. You can't shop your way out of it entirely. Your ISA charges, your platform fees, your savings rate. None of that is postcode related. A stocks and shares ISA costs the same regardless of whether you're in Bristol or in Belgravia. So if you've never checked whether you're on a decent rate or whether you're paying over the odds on platform fees, that's not a London tax. That's just not having been checked. The pint you can't do anything about. The insurance you're stuck with within reason. The rest of it you can fix this afternoon. Head to the link in my bio for the best price ISAs and pensions.
Tell me how often that worries us, because we can't have holiday now. I never go nowhere for holiday. I can't afford holiday.
Only put on a mini once and I was abused. Well, my daughter thought I was showing too much. She said, Mother, for God's sake, put a longer skirt on. You've got nothing to show now. The good old stock ale. Well, and pints of that. No half pints, pints. With a shilling on your glass in case you nicked it.
All the merry-go girls. We know our manners, spend all our tanners. We are respected wherever you go. When you're rolling down the old Kent Road, all the windows open wide. We are the marigold girls. We all mix together as one. And that's how it should be. To have equality and equity amongst everyone you know. And never think you're one above anybody else, because you are not, because you've been through the same phases of life.
They simply want to take as much of your money off you as possible and then give it to people that don't deserve it a lot of the time. But look, take your £5 pint. I'm a publican, so I know this is true. I get about 15 or 16p per pint. In this example here, the publican gets 13p from this pint. Guess how much the government gets? £2. VAT, duty, business rates, employment taxes. £2 of a £5 pint goes straight to the government. And what did they do for it? Nothing. Now let's take the price of your petrol at the pumps. This idiot who wants me to serve warm beer takes 17% in VAT on a petrol price. He wants 38% in fuel duty. And they're going to put it up now in September. No government is here to help you. How depressing.
Because the pub was never really about the drinking. The beer was just the excuse. The pub was where people gathered. It was where you found out what was happening in the village, where friendships were formed, where birthdays were celebrated, where funerals were remembered, where lonely people came to feel a little less lonely. I've spent years behind a bar and I've watched complete strangers become the best of friends. I've watched communities rally around people having the worst day of their lives. The thing that worries me isn't that we're drinking less, it's that we're gathering less. We've replaced conversations with comments. We've replaced community with scrolling. We've replaced the local with the algorithm. So when a pub closes, we don't just lose a place that sells beer. We lose a place that creates belonging. And until someone can tell me what we're replacing that with, I'll keep arguing that the loss of the British pub is about more than just pints.
Let's be clear straight away. No one's seriously hurt. A few minor injuries, 3 taken to hospital, but everyone's walking, talking, and probably stuck in traffic. So now we can focus on what really matters. The beer. Yes, really, a beer lorry has crashed on the M60 and unleashed its liquid gold across both sides of the motorway after colliding with 3 other lorries and 4 cars. It's like Top Gear meets Oktoberfest, only with less Clarkson and more diesel. One lorry actually punched through the central reservation like it was trying to beat rush hour. Lampposts got taken out like Skittles, and the road is now coated in barrels, broken glass, and what one witness described as the smell of Friday night. The police and National Highways are urging everyone seriously stay away, but do you think that's working? Of course not, because the moment word got out that beer was rolling across the asphalt, half of the north turned into treasure hunters. One man was said to be sprinting towards the carnage like it was something out of Rocky, and the fields were strewn with people pouring into the area. Traffic's actually...
I'll tell you something. They are taking the absolute mickey out of everyone who lives in this country. Great Britain, the UK. On the news again today, the cost of a pint is going up, with the average cost being above £5, it's to pay for national insurance increases, wage increases. These places just won't be able to stay open if they didn't increase the prices. It's nothing to do with them. The Mersey Bridge, or the Mersey, whatever, the bridge that you cross to go into Liverpool, or the other bridge, or the tunnel, all them prices going up this week. How? Why? They make an absolute fortune on that bridge. Greed is ruining everyone's life in this country. Everybody is ruined. There's no fun. They're stopping you from having any fun at all. They're just charging you for absolutely everything. It's time to move. Get over to Spain, €150 a pint.
And also, I lied about how much these cost. It's stubby tough. Here you go, little Duke. Get one of these down your gullet. Yeah, I lied about the price of them. It's a pack of 8 or 12, can't remember, for £2.99. I remember why I used to get these bad boys now.
Perfect size.
Yeah, Gerv.
Oh my God. Take a read of that. So Heineken is about to reach places within our wallets that others do not reach. It's the start of the new year and they're putting the price of a pint up by 2.7%. So we could be looking at a 16 to 17 pence rise in the cost of a pint. But don't be thinking, oh, it's okay, I don't drink Heineken, because remember this. They also own Moretti, Amstel, Inch's Cider, John Smith's, and probably more. So this is going to affect a vast amount of drinkers. I already pay £6.10 for a pint of Guinness in my local. 4 pints and I've spent over 24 quid. And don't forget, this price increase by Heineken will affect all those non-alcoholic drinks that they make. So even if you drink pints that aren't fully leaded, you're still going to suffer in this price increase. Heineken pubs have to be the dearest pubs in the land without a doubt, already. And yet, the prices by them are going up again. And there's no clear sign as to where these new costs are being incurred. So what's your thoughts on this?
Long answer. Also no, but there are some legal complications. This is a snake bite, and it's usually half a pint of lager, half a pint of cider, and some people put in a dash of blackcurrant cordial. And despite what you've heard, there's not actually been a law that's banned it, so why do pubs refuse to sell it? Well, back in the 80s and 90s, the snake bite developed a reputation of being the drink of choice for students and binge drinkers to basically drink as much as they can for as little amount of money as they can. And so landlords started associating it with people drinking too much, causing trouble, and so a lot of pubs just banned them as a straight up house rule. But because so many people started getting refused them, a myth around the country started being spread that they were actually illegal. And there is a touch of truth to this. So in 1985, the UK government brought in the Weights and Measures Act, which said that draft beer and cider had to be sold in prescribed measures of a third pint, a half pint, 2/3 pint, and multiples of half pints, so a full pint. So if a bartender just eyeballs it, and like I did at the start, and just free pours it, it's more than likely they're serving up a wrong measure of one or both drinks. So in order to do it properly, what they would need to do is take 2 half-pint glasses, pour both of them individually into those half-pint glasses, and then pour that into a pint glass. In fact, the myth that snake bites were illegal is so widespread that when Bill Clinton went into a pub in Harrogate and ordered one, he was actually told that they were illegal. So if a pub refuses to serve you one of these, it's not because they're following the law. They're following a pub rule that became one of the biggest drinking myths in Britain.
All right, we've got a headline here talking about the war in Iran, the energy price rises which are cascading throughout the supply chain, resulting in £9 pints here in the UK. This is what you get with the political class and their Epstein-loving connections. I don't care whether or not you're Labour with all of the Mandelson scandal. I don't care whether or not you're Reform with all of the Trump bootlicking and Nick Candy in his meetings with Epstein. Candy by name, Candy by nature. They're all a bunch of warmongering demonic elites trying to divert from their nefarious activities to the point where normal people in the UK can't even afford to have a pint. That's what you get with these people. Remember, this is not about left and right. It's about ordinary people coming together, getting rid of all of these scammers and building our fair future.
Okay, beer ranking, let's go. Beer Moretti, delicious, sweet, Italian, 2. San Miguel, yeah, not bad. One of the better Spanish ones. If you get it abroad, amazing. Not as good in the UK, but still good. I'll give it a 4. Madra. Yeah, to me, it just tastes like Carling. I think it is just another version of Carling, so we'll go 9. Ooh, Peroni. Amazing on draft, but it comes in a green bottle, so in a bottle, to me, it does taste a little bit skunked, but because it's so good on draft, I'll give it a 3. Cruz Campo. Not as good as San Miguel, but still decent. I'd say 7. Asahi, oh yes, amazing. Crisp, dry, delicious. Number 1 for me if you can get that on draft. Star of Pramen, again, comes in a green bottle, bit gassy, still decent. 8. Estrella, yeah, good. Another good Spanish one on draft, amazing. 5. Peretta, oh, that's a good one. Another Italian stallion, let's go 6. Corona, unlucky son, not great on draft, very weak. Alright in a bottle on a hot summer's day, but 10. And that's it. I'm pretty happy with that. Asai number 1, Corona number 10, yeah, give or take. Prost.
An Oasis fan who fell to his death during the band's reunion gig at Wembley Stadium slipped on spilled beer before plunging from a balcony, his heartbroken dad has claimed. Lee Claydon, 45, plummeted from the upper tier during the gig and died at the scene despite the best efforts of medics who battled to save his life. His dad claims it was an accident waiting to happen, adding, "There was beer all over the floor, it was really slippery and Lee just slipped and fell. I've been told that it was an accident waiting to happen, it was a horrible, horrible accident. All I really know is that there was beer everywhere, he slipped and we don't know the rest of it. I wasn't there so I don't know what happened, but it will all come out, I am so devastated." Fellow concert goers at the gig also told how they slipped and tumbled due to spilled drinks.
Beer, 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 where's the beer, where's the beer? Where's the beer, here's the beer. Right, I do want an actual beer, but I'm working later, so I'm going to try and find the zeros. Maybe I can have one of these, if there's anything that I fancy, but to be honest, I'm not that arsed. I'm not bothered about getting drunk, I just kind of want to have a chill beer in sun, you know, just that taste. Ah, there we go, zeros. Oh, they haven't really got a lot, have they? I want a beer, just like a 4-pack of, oh, there's more here as well, thank goodness for that. Peroni, yeah, Corona, come on. 1664. Zeros. Or a Leffe. I know I've got a Leffe glass at my house, but that's not like a real like summery drink. I'm thinking I wanted like Budweiser, to be honest, or like Stella. Just like a few tinnies really. Asahi, Heineken. How much for that? Oh, you know what? I get 6 of them. I can be supping them all afternoon. I can get through a whole thing of them. Maybe not an whole thing, but then it saves me another one just when I want some non-alcohol beers another time. So I'm going to get these. And I do have one actual beer at home if I want it. But like I say, I'm working later. So, you know, I've got to keep it alcohol free. Although, weirdly enough, I do work at a bar. And maybe I'll have one or two on shift, but I can't be turning up piss, that's for sure. We'll see. I have to buy them at work anyway if I'm getting them, although I do get a discount. Right, let's buy these now.
Over the last 50 years. So starting with 1975, it was only 20p. Can you imagine that? 20p for a pint. Now, it seems super cheap, and it is, but we will also be talking a little bit about the relativity of these prices as well in comparison to earnings and whatnot. But moving on to 1985, the average cost was 90p, so still pretty cheap, but a huge increase in just 10 years, or more than 4-fold. Fast forward to 1995 and it's £1.65, and then to 2005 where it's £2.40. So from 85 to 2005, 20 years, the price tripled. Up to 2015 and it's at £3.45. So not a huge increase in that 10-year period, only an extra £1. Some of you might be thinking these prices are a little bit cheap or a little bit expensive, but remember this is the average cost. For those of us lucky enough or unlucky enough to be in London and the South East, you'll know that these prices are probably much more expensive, and equally up north I bet they're cheaper. bringing us all the way up to 2024, and the average price is £4.75. Now, personally, I would kill to get a pint for £4.75 where I am, but I don't know, maybe you think that's expensive. And bringing us to the big question, relatively, is a pint more expensive now? And the short answer is yes. So in 1975, the average salary was just under 2k a year, and in 2024, it's just under 30k. So that means that wages have increased by about 1,400%, but the price of a pint has increased by 2,275%. So relatively speaking, a pint is almost twice as much now as it was in 1975. What do you think about all these prices? Do you remember any of them? What's the cheapest beer that you could find in a pub now in 2024? And I hope you've enjoyed the vid. You know what to do if you want to see more beer and drink related content. Drop us a follow. Until then, cheers.
In this hand, I have a bottle of Staropramin, and in this hand, I also have a bottle of Staropramin, but there's a big difference. This one is brewed under license in the UK, and this is the one you'll pretty much find on every supermarket shelf. And this one is brewed in Prague, Czech Republic, and is currently available in Lidl. But is it actually better? Now, how to tear the two apart? Straight away, the proper Czech stuff sold in the 500ml bottle, whereas this one is sold 660ml, and also the proper Czech stuff will have on the bottle top the full name as opposed to the S. Or if you're not lazy, you could just read the label, but hey ho. UK brewed. Look at the carbonation of that. Czech brewed. It looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? Right, let's try the UK one first. It's alright, not bad at all. Not going to criticise that. You do get that slight metallic back end. It's subtle, but it's there. Okay, let's try the Czech stuff. Cheers. Oh yeah, it's certainly a fuller mouthfeel to it than this one. This one's a bit thin. This is a lot thinner. This, it's a fuller mouthfeel. It's got more depth. Those sour hops definitely coming into play there. You've got really nice bitterness from that. That is fucking good stuff. Oh, I need to go back to Czech Republic. Good food as well. I really like the food. The UK was never going to stand up to the Czech brewed. Why is that? I mean, there's probably a few reasons, but the most obvious one's obviously the water. I mean, what is a lager? It's 90 to 95% water. And this one, it's using hard water from Burton-on-Trent. So those minerals will react with the hops, with the malt. Whereas in Czech Republic, they are noted for their soft water, and it allows them to make better lager. UK brewed, I'll give it a 6.5. Czech brewed Staropramin, I'm going to say 8.5. I might bump it up to a 9. That's all from me. Cheers!
Can I get a pint of Guinness, please?
We've got Genesis, which is our own stout.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll get a try, yeah. Thank you. I'm on the hunt for the greatest Guinness in the UK. Today we're at the Checkers Inn in Walmer Green, still in Hertfordshire, and as you can't already tell, I haven't got a Guinness. I've got Genesis, which is their own brewed equivalent to a Guinness. I couldn't really walk out the door after you said no, we ain't got Guinness, we got this, so we're going to give it a go anyway, and we're going to add it to the greatest Guinness list if it does make it anyway. I mean, it's quite an interesting glass. I mean, the head situation, I'm not too sure about this. It's not looking good, brev. But listen, we're here now anyway. £6.10 for this pint. I mean, it's looking good. I don't even know if these checks still happen. No, it's not going on, is it? Do a little head check, obviously. 1, 2, 3. There's a fucking hair in my head. Get that out. Try that again. 1, 2, 3. I made no taste to it, but we're going to have a go anyway. Normally we split the G, but in this situation I'm not too sure. I mean we're drinking most of the fucking pint that we split that G, but it should make good content, so I'm going to try and split that G if I can, and we're going to see if it's a good pint. So pint of Genesis, not genocide, Genesis, £6.10. The check is in Walmer Green, Hertfordshire. Let's try split the G. Wish me luck. Oh my god, nearly one more sip and I would have had that, surprisingly, a really good fucking pint. It's not even Guinness, but that beats all the Guinnesses, all 7 of them that I've had in the past. That is fucking lovely. That is really good taste of coffee, good bit of creaminess as well. Perfect temperature, perfect. Honestly, if that was a pint of Guinness, that would be the best Guinness I've tasted so far, but it's not, but it's still top of my list. If you're in Hertfordshire, definitely come here if you want a pint of Guinness and get this. Even though it's not Guinness, it's got to be, yeah, I mean, if you gave that to me, Brian, in a Guinness cup, I would say that's the best pint of Guinness I've had in my life. That's a bold claim. That is the next best thing to a Guinness, and that's fucking lovely.
320,000 gallons of beer flooded through the streets in a 15-foot tall tidal wave, knocking down houses, crashing into buildings, killing 8 people. And that doesn't even count the 9th guy who spent the next couple days drinking all the free beer until he died of alcohol poisoning. Let me tell you all about one of the craziest stories in world history, the Great Beer Flood of 1814. It all started in a densely populated, lower-class slum of London, full of Irish immigrants, where the crown jewel of the entire neighborhood was, of course, the bar. And at the Horseshoe Brewery, they would ferment their alcohol in these huge 22-foot-tall wooden vats that were secured by these iron rings. At 4:30 in the afternoon on October 17th, one of the store clerks noticed that one of the big wooden vat's iron rings had broken. So he went and told his boss, and his boss said, "Make note of it and we'll have someone come fix it." They didn't realize how urgent the matter really was. Just over an hour later, without the iron ring, the vat burst and 18,000 barrels of hot beer started flowing everywhere. The pressure from that much hot beer burst all the surrounding vats. So now we had 320,000 gallons of beer exploding out. The beer literally knocked down the back wall of the brewery. And then we had a 15-foot tall tidal wave of beer rushing down the city streets. The tidal wave knocked down another bar and 2 more houses. It also flooded a basement where a small funeral was being held, and people inside died, being drowned with beer. In all, the tidal wave killed 8 people, and that's before the rescue efforts even began. It's said that while some people had to literally tread water, or I guess tread beer, like they were on a raft in the middle of the ocean, other people flocked to the city streets trying to collect the free beer to drink. People used anything they could find, pots, pans, kettles, glasses, anything to scoop up the free beer. Remember, we're talking about an Irish slum here, so instead of complaining, they partied. Talk about looking at a tough situation with a glass half full. Riots literally broke out in the city streets as the good Irish people did their part in cleaning up the neighborhood. It's said that one man literally got so drunk cleaning up the free beer that he died of alcohol poisoning a few days later, bringing the death total to 9. Once the beer finally got all cleaned up, it looked like an earthquake came through the neighborhood, and it said that the city smelled like beer for months. And the craziest part is that the people in the brewery that started this entire mess was cleared of any wrongdoing in court and had to pay $0 to the victims who lost both their loved ones, their businesses, and their houses because the judge said that it was an act of God that started this.
Stand in the beer aisle of any supermarket in Britain. Take a proper look. Stella, Carlsberg, Budweiser, Heineken, Corona. Looks like a choice, doesn't it? Looks like a market. Looks like competition working exactly the way competition is supposed to work. It isn't. 4 companies control what's in that aisle. 4. AB InBev, Carlsberg, Heineken, Asahi. Between them, they own almost every brand on that shelf. Not some of them. Almost all of them. The logos are different. The colors are different. The price points are calibrated to make you feel like you're choosing between genuine alternatives. You're choosing between 4 subsidiaries of 4 global conglomerates. They all source ingredients from the exact same commodity markets, they brew in the exact same centralized mega facilities, and they distribute through the exact same tied networks that have controlled the British pub trade for 50 years. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a company's house and stock exchange fact. And for 50 years, nobody could do anything about it. The scale was too vast. The distribution networks too entrenched. The capital requirements too enormous for any challenger to get anywhere near threatening the system. Then, last year, a farm in the Cotswolds quietly filed expansion plans that sent the industry into emergency meetings, not because of who owns it, but because of what it proved. And what it proved is the one thing the 4 biggest brewing companies in the world have spent 50 years hoping nobody would ever be able to demonstrate. What exactly did one farm in Oxfordshire prove that has the entire global brewing industry frightened? That answer is coming. But first, you need to understand the machine it's threatening to dismantle. Because unless you understand how that machine was built, you won't fully grasp why a single brewery in the Cotswolds is causing emergency calls at the headquarters of companies worth hundreds of billions of pounds. AB InBev is the largest brewing company on earth. Their revenue last year was roughly 60 billion. They own over 500 brands across 50 countries. They brewed over 500 million hectoliters of beer in 2024. That number is so large it has almost no meaning. So let's make it concrete. To move that volume, at that cost, at that margin, you need centralization. Absolute, ruthless, total centralization. You need mega breweries. Facilities producing millions of liters under one roof, automated to the point where human involvement is minimal. You need global ingredient sourcing, buying barley and hops from wherever on earth the commodity price is lowest that quarter. You need distribution infrastructure that locks retailers and pubs into your supply chain before a competitor even gets a phone call returned. And you need the...
There's something rather wonderful about that, but good grief. The prices. The beer disappears quicker than my pension, and what's left costs the blooming earth. I remember when you'd buy a round without needing to check your bank balance first. Now buying 4 pints feels like you've accidentally financed a small infrastructure project. And if England win? Well, the next morning every supermarket looks like it's been visited by a particularly cheerful hurricane. Empty shelves, no lager, no cider, just the lonely bottles nobody wanted. That's another sign of modern Britain. Demand goes through the roof. Prices seem to follow, and somehow the customer ends up paying more every time. Funny how that works. The football's coming home, but the beer seems to have gone somewhere else. Mind you, I'd rather see pubs full of football fans enjoying themselves than standing empty. The local pub has always been more than somewhere to buy a drink. It's where communities come together, where strangers become mates, where every armchair manager suddenly knows better than the England coach. For 90 minutes, every bloke in Britain becomes an international football expert, fueled by a pint that now costs about the same as a Sunday roast used to. Let's hope the breweries can keep up, because if England make the final and Britain runs out of beer, that really will be a national emergency. Cheers and cheerio, and I will see you all in the next video. I know you'll be sober,